Yo guys, what is going on? JPS back for another video, and today we're going to be reacting to how are German kids different than American kids. We've taken a look at playgrounds and just ways that German parents raise their kids, and some of the things that have been said in previous videos we've watched have certainly been like, what? Like, they really do that? Like, wow, that's way different than the way I was raised or what I would think would be the right way to raise kids. So always good to keep an open mind and understand that there's a million right ways to raise kids, and some people may do them better than what you thought you were going to raise kids like. So I don't even know if I want kids, but this is going to be interesting to see because kids, of course, that's future generation right there. So this is how Germany has built up its society, really based off how their kids are raised. So let's get right into this. Hit the like button, guys, hit subscribe, and here we go.
Hi everyone, what is up? My name is Haley. Welcome to my YouTube channel. If you did not know, now you do. Hey you guys, what's up? So in today's video, y'all, I'm going to be talking about how kids are different in Germany and how parenting is different in Germany. I feel like these are two different topics, but they sort of like mesh together. And yeah, these are just things that I have observed. I'm not a parent. I don't have kids, so I don't have like personal experience, but I have personal observation experience because I have worked in kindergartens. I've been around a lot of children and a lot of different families and a lot of different parents. So with all that being said, don't forget to subscribe and don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. The lady that I worked for, she said, "Hey Haley, I'm going to get coffee with my friend. Would you like to come with?" And her friend just had a baby and she showed up with her little stroller with her little baby sleeping in the stroller. And I was like, "Oh, how cute. No, it's so cute that you're bringing the baby to the cafe to get some coffee and kuchen." And the baby was knocked out, you guys. This baby was in la land. And the woman, she just leaves and goes in the cafe. And I'm just like, okay, did the lady that I work for literally bring me here to watch someone else's kid? Like, I was like, they really want me to stand out here in the cold, in the winter, next to the stroller while they go inside and drink coffee. I'm like, that's really rude. The lady knocked on the window and was like, "Come inside." And I was like, and she's looking at me like, what the hell am I pointing at? And I'm like doing the motion of picking up the baby, and she's like, and I'm like, and she's like, "No." And then she comes out and she's like, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, "What are you doing? Leaving your baby on the street?" And she's like, "What do you mean?" And I'm like, "What do you mean? What do you mean? Someone could grab this little baby. It's just laying here, strangers walking past. This is a busy road. Someone snatch your baby up, hide your kids, hide your wife, because they're snatching every baby out here in Germany." She's like looking at the lady that I worked for like, "You brought this woman with you to this coffee shop and she's talking about my baby getting kidnapped?" It happened often. I will not say all the time and that everyone did it, but it wasn't uncommon to see a random stroller with a random baby in it on the side of like the sidewalk or the road somewhere, or you know, in front of a store. And the reasoning behind this, she told me, I mean, this was her reason. I don't know if this is the real reason why people do it, but she said that it took her so long to wrap the baby in all of its like winter clothes, and so when the baby slept, you know, it got fresh air, it was cool to him, like the temperature outside was cool, but his body temperature underneath everything is relatively warm, and he sleeps the best this way. And so it's better to just leave him there than take him out, wake him up most likely, take off all of his clothes, and then have to re-put them on, redress him when they leave the cafe. And so I thought that was very interesting. This is something that happens all over Europe. I know that a lot of people are...
Damn. Yeah, bro, we do have some kidnapping rates that are not the best here. I was about to say the same thing. Like, to me, that is just insane. And I'm sure to most parents in the United States, because you have to have your eye on your kid at all times, and even then you lose your kid. I mean, I was lost in stores a lot. So it's just a lot more hands off and letting kids learn on their own, I guess. And this is a baby example here.
Or some people do this in the United States.
So crazy.
In their, like, the privacy of their home.
I don't mean that in a bad way,
Doesn't necessarily happen
of
in
course.
Florida, because if you leave your baby outside in Florida, it will die. The next point is going to be something that is a hit and a miss. I know that some people, like Germans, are going to disagree with me, but I've seen this a handful of times here, and it is that people will bring their children to bars. And I think it's because the bar culture in Germany is different, and also the alcohol culture is different here as well. And so when I compare it to the United States, where I used to work, I've worked in I think like 3 or 4 different restaurants, and all of those, I think 3 out of 4 of them, had bars, meaning you could sit at the bar and drink alcohol, or you could sit in the bar area, which wasn't directly like chairs around a bar, but there were maybe tables or booths surrounding the bar. And some restaurants that I worked at wouldn't even let people with kids sit there. There are some restaurants that I have been to in the United States that allow children to sit there, but the ones that I worked at wasn't allowed unless they were 18 or older. But if you came with your baby and you like wanted to sit at the bar or near the bar, we usually, our hostesses would have to say, sorry, we're not allowed to seat you there. And so when I came to Germany and I just saw kids, you know, openly around alcohol in public, at restaurants, at bars, I was shocked, a little judgmental, because I'm like, what are y'all doing with your kids? Like, around alcohol and bringing them to the bar like this. It's totally chill in Germany and relax when it comes to kids and alcohol. Also because the drinking age is 16 here, depending on what you're drinking, and in the United States, it's 21. And I always find this to be so crazy when I see little children, literally 16-year-olds drinking beer, and I'm like, are y'all allowed to do that? And then in the United States, I get carded if I want to buy one little beer can at the grocery store or something, or at the gas station. And I also think that in Germany, they like to expose children at an early age to like the real world. Like, everyone, not everyone, but a big majority of people are drinking. They may not be alcoholic.
Yo, she's pulling up. Yeah, she's pulling up data here. This is awesome. I love this video so far. I'm really, like, I'm learning a lot too. But honestly, I wish we were the same way as Germany. I really do. It's so ridiculous to treat alcohol like it's, we literally treat it like it's meth, bro. I mean, it's like all these things about, oh, this, that. And I'm not saying alcoholism isn't a problem and that we don't have alcoholics, but I feel like introducing to someone and, you know, educating them on something rather than keeping it hidden away. And I'm talking about teenagers with alcohol, because, you know, it's just so stupid. It's so dumb. And the rest of the world just looks at us like clowns, because we're one of the few countries in the developed world that has a drinking age of 21, guys. Guys, I'm 20. I can't even legally drink yet. So when I'm in Germany, I'm going to enjoy my time to be in a nation that isn't absolutely insane with alcohol. Like, that's probably one of the most ridiculous things in this country. Well, next to guns.
But they are consuming alcohol. And you're going to come into contact with this regardless if you do drink alcohol or don't drink alcohol. And never understand now, since living in Germany, the big hush regarding alcohol in the United States. It's a little weird in my opinion, because
yeah, exactly.
I talked about this before. You can buy guns at 18, you can go fight in the military, you know, give up your life. But as soon as you want to buy one little beer and you're 20 years old, go to jail. The next point is going to be eating vegetables, you know, free will, like not being forced. Y'all, one thing that shocked me, which is a little like going off of this point, when I came to Germany and I started eating food, like not eating foods, when I started going to restaurants and stuff and like just trying out different types of restaurants and getting vegetables that were uncommon, let's say, because you go to the United States, you eat at a restaurant, you're gonna have like a vegetable medley of broccoli, squash, carrots, throw in a zucchini, you know, asparagus is big, cauliflower is big, very basic vegetables, you know, throwing a corn on the cob there as well. And some areas, you know, you have more so than other, like in Florida, we have okra, but we fry it. And I feel like all of our vegetables, we fry, we deep fry. Yeah. We have deep fried green beans, we have deep fried cauliflower, we have deep fried corn, we have deep fried everything. So that's not really healthy. I'm talking about a raw vegetable or fruit, literally eating that by itself. And so when I came to Germany, there was this little kid that I used to watch like randomly on the weekends. His mom would want to go out and she'd be like, could you come watch my son? I'd be like, fine, no big deal. So one day she called me, hey Haley, come over. And then she's like, you know what? I have everything in the fridge. You know, I have frozen pizza. I made like spaghetti the other day. I made all of this stuff. Just ask him what he wants to eat and then, you know, make something. I love parents like this because I'm like, so You don't mind if I give your kid a frozen pizza, we eat ice cream, cookies, and chips, and watch a movie, and that's okay with you? So I go to the little kid all excited. I'm like, hey, your mom told me that we have frozen pizza. And he's like looking at me and he's like, yeah, I think I want like a butterbrot, a butter bread with radishes. And I looked and I was like, excuse me? Your mom said you have frozen pizza and cookies. He's like, no, maybe some cucumbers too. And I'm like, sir,
I'm like,
we
bro,
have
what?
everything available here. I can literally call McDonald's and have them delivered, call Burger King and they can deliver a Whopper and fried onion rings to our doorstep right now. This little boy would not budge, you guys. So what did I do? I went to the kitchen and I cut up some radishes and I put it on some butterbrot. And so the next point is going to be outside activities, and I don't really know on some butterbrot.
I mean, that looks pretty good. I would eat that, yeah. But over a frozen pizza, as a kid, I'm taking whatever sweets or unhealthy foods I can get. That's just the American way, because they parents in America have to like very much regulate what their kids are eating, and because all around us at all times are chips, candies, sodas, fried food, frozen food. This is not the normal. This is like, what is that? Like, I don't even know what that is still. It's just so different, so different. And I feel like I'm going to lose some weight being in Germany. I feel like I will, bro. Walking around a lot more. Portions probably going to be smaller. Food is probably going to be a bit healthier. I mean, I eat pretty moderately healthy as it is, but man, it's a culture shock just watching the video. So imagine actually being there. It's going to be crazy, guys.
And so the next point is going to be outside activities, and I don't really know how to go over this properly, but in Germany, when you do an activity for, let's say, daycare or school, a lot of times it is outsourced to a different location. And I don't know the reason why. I'm assuming it's because of how small Germany is, so their schools aren't as massive and as huge as like stuff in the United States, so they don't have the ability to offer everything in-house. I used to work at a kindergarten, a daycare that was only 3 rooms. That was it. And there were like a lot of kids, and everything that we did, we usually had to go outside somewhere else to do. We didn't have a pool, we didn't have a playground, we didn't have anything at the daycare except for like books and toys and a little mini kitchen to make stuff in. That was it. And I also worked at daycares in Germany that offered everything available to mankind. 3-story, 4-story buildings, they have a whole bunch of kids, they have their own playground, but still, even then, you had to go somewhere else to do other things, or they would tell someone else to come. They would outsource it in the sense that they would hire someone to come and do, let's say, yoga, instruments. I don't know what else there is that people outsourced or got people to come in to do. And it's not random to see groups of children just walking in the woods, walking on the side of the street, taking public transportation, just out and about in the real world, which is something that is not common in the United States at all, unless you're going on a field trip. But it's like not where you would say every day we're going to go outside of our daycare, or every day we're taking a trip 1 mile away or walking 1 mile down the street to go do something. That's just something that does not happen in the United States. The last and final point.
I think a reason for this also is because the United States is just not a very safe or trustworthy country. And it has a lot to do with where you're growing up, especially people living in cities. I grew up outside of a pretty big city, and the area I grew up in, the immediate area is pretty safe, but it's outside of that gets very iffy. And if I was a parent and looking at how my parents raised me or how other parents raise their kids in my area, I could see it, because it's like every other day is a new shooting. Every other day, someone's getting stabbed. There's theft at this store right down the street. I mean, it's like we also have that sensationalism that drives a lot of our news sources. And every headline you read is going to be something terrible happening or things like that. So a lot of that builds up into the psyche of the American parent, and it leads them to be a lot more protective than maybe they need to be. And that can speak to how safe the country we built up is, and may speak to how safe Germany is. Because from what I've been hearing, I probably won't have a damn thing to worry about except for, petty pickpocketing or tourist traps. I haven't even thought about my safety when it comes to Germany based off of the videos I've seen, because it's going to be so much safer than what I've been around. Like, so much safer. I'm sure there's going to be, that doesn't mean I'm going to let my guard down and just be like, oh, hey, here's my passport hanging out of my pocket. Someone grab it. Here's cash. Here's some euros. That's not what I mean. My head's always going to be on a swivel no matter what. That's just the type of person I am. So don't try and run up on me. But yeah, it's gonna be a lot different. Not having to worry about getting shot every second. That's for sure.
You guys is gonna be a big point, and this is gonna be something that I do this to myself, you guys, when I talk about these topics. But in Germany, the kids learn about their history, an in-depth history, a gruesome history, a dark history, something that I've never experienced in the United States. And so I remember when I first got here to Munich, I took a trip by myself to Dachau. I don't know why, you guys. I just wanted to go to a concentration camp because I was like, I'm in Germany. This is like what I've been taught in school. I'm literally a train ride away, less than an hour away. Let me just go one day. And so I went by myself to Dachau. And to my surprise, I saw multiple groups, like school groups of kids aged, I would say maybe 14 to 16, 17, give or take. I was just thinking to myself, I'm like, are we just gonna allow kids to walk through concentration camps like this? Like, is this normal? I don't know. This is not normal in the United States. We don't walk through plantation homes. In Florida, especially where I lived, we had plantation homes, we had plantations, we had sugarcane fields that were ran, operated by slaves. We never, ever took a trip there. Never once in my life did I even know until I think high school or college did I find out that we had all of these places so close to where I went to school. And I think this is an amazing thing that Germany does. I think that this should happen in the United States as well. I know in some places they do put more emphasis on our history and the dark parts of our history, but in modern day, the United States right now, we're trying to get rid, or sugarcoat the things and make it seem like everything was rainbows and sunshine and everyone got along and there were no slaves. They were people that made a minimum wage, and we try to cover things up instead of actually saying, yeah, we effed up, we did this, we did that, it wasn't good, we killed a bunch of people, we harmed a bunch of people, we created a lot of problems, by doing this, and here it is. But we don't do that. And so when I think back of my upbringing and my education, and I know that there are going to be a lot of Americans that say, well, that's just you and that's not representative of the United States and that's not my upbringing. Perfectly fine. Make your own video talking about your upbringing. Okay. But for me, I knew more, or I was told more about Nazi Germany than the history of Florida and plantations and slavery and just everything that happened in my own state, in my own backyard, literally a hop, skip, and a rock throw away. I learned more about something that was 5,000 plus miles away than learning something that was 5 miles away. Like I said, they did teach me about slavery, but if they would have made me go up, take my happy ass to a plantation home, or show me certain fields, or show me all types of other things, a museum for all I know, if they would have done this for me at a young age, it would have made such a big impact on me, and it would make me care about these issues more, or it would have made me care more about these issues growing up. But yeah, you guys, that was it. That's the end of the video. That's how
God, bro, everyone subscribe, bro, please. Oh my God. Haley, Alexis, hold on. Woo! Guys, I had to try really, really hard not to pause this video. I had to try really hard not to pause the video within the last 3-4 minutes. Basically, everything she said, speaking about the U.S. history, I can't speak on the German stuff because I've never been in Germany, but that part of the video was great too. But that just is exactly what I was about to say. I was getting ready to pause the video, but I'm like, no, I gotta let her talk about her experience. And I completely agree. And you want to know why? And it's not us creating these history lessons. It's not It's them. It's them. The people in power. And they still are trying to. There's this like revisionist movement in the United States right now to really like override history and try and paint it as something that it isn't. A lot of the problems in the United States surrounding race are because of the history. Like, think about it. History is what causes current situations. And if the further you dig, you have to dig deep to even know about this stuff, because they're not going to teach you. They're going to really teach you surface level stuff in school. It'll be like, we brought slaves through the transatlantic slave trade, and then we had segregation in schools, and here we are today. Like, is it really that no, it's not that simple. And you can see that through all the tensions, all of the micro everything. Just in any interaction in the United States, you will see this exact issue here. There's so much segregation still. And listen, this video is not related to that, but I can't put it as eloquently as she did, but that's the truth. We don't do a good job of talking about our history, and history repeats itself, as we all know. So it's good to hear that Germany takes its history seriously. I would hope they do, but definitely more seriously than we did, and that we continue to do, because a lot of people don't want to think that slavery was a thing. They don't want to think that there's issues surrounding inequality, and that some people don't have it as easy as them just because of the color of their skin. In 2023, yes, wow, it's this. Oh man, it's very frustrating. That's probably one of the most frustrating parts of the United States. And I'm white. I'm on the side that gets to make all these decisions. That's the side that's represented in government and in positions of power. Things are certainly changing for the good, I would say, in some ways, but we have a long way to go, really long way to go. So, as you guys can see, that just strikes a match within so many different Americans, because it's, think about how that would make you feel. But yeah, that was how German kids, different than American kids. Some really big differences there, not only in what the kids are taught about their own country, but also how they're raised by their parents in everyday life. I'm sure there's a million other things that I'll be able to see when I see German kids and their parents and families in Germany. So I'll be sure to record my reactions to that. Seeing there's going to be so many differences. So yeah, guys, I'm really excited to come to Germany the next couple weeks. So make sure you stay tuned. Hit the like button, hit subscribe, and I will catch you all in the next one. Peace.